Hey, you guys. Okay, this is another update, and it is based on a number of conversations I just had actually this morning, February 17th, 2018. Right now, for some people, okay, and perhaps a lot of people, you still will be able to get your work visa, okay, to get the work visa that everyone wants so much without having to go back to the United States or go back to Britain, Australia or Canada, etc. Okay, and interestingly enough, they've sped up the process. Okay, and I'm going to explain how it works. And you should note that if your school is qualified to get you the work visa, most likely it's a big school like Wall Street English, Metin, Web International English, EF, etc. At any rate, everything I'm telling you now is based on um, experience of one of the managers, a foreign manager inside one of these large schools. And where actually they're doing the visas right now. So here's the thing. You can get it. You can, in this particular case, there's an American guy who had a 10-year visa, one of those, 10-year visas that Americans are qualified for, and I think Canadians also. But it should apply equally to other people who come on a business or tourist visa. It doesn't matter. It's fine either way. And interestingly enough, the process has been sped up. Okay, so uh, now what you will do is your school, once you've got your offer from your school, let's say you get your business visa or your tourist visa, you come around China, you look at some school, you do an interview, they like you, you like them, you don't have a work visa yet, but you're ready to go, all right? So then you will hand over to them all of your documents, etc. Okay, your degree, your photos, resume, all these things. And the person inside the school, inside Wall Street or inside Web International English, inside Metin, will then, okay, what do we do? Okay. So what they will do is they will get all your documents notarized, apostolized. Essentially, those are different words for verified, or essentially, the Chinese government will put a quote unquote stamp on them, which indicates that they are sufficiently reliable to be trusted and given credibility in the visa process. And there's a system in place overseas, and they maintain lists. In fact, there are different lists maintained at various consulates for example, in the United States, which refer to different universities and which four-year colleges are accepted and which ones are not, etc. And they have a process they go through to determine whether or not your particular degree is in fact genuine. Okay, now it's a separate issue. It should be fine so long as your degree really is true. More than likely, it's going to pass the test and it'll be fine. All right, so the first step is within China, okay, inside China, in Shenzhen, all right, your school will apply for your work permit, okay, and your foreign expert certificate. The next thing you do is you need to leave China. You will go across the border, okay? You're going to go through the border at Luohu, all right? Because there is a new visa issuance procedure, all right? And it's really convenient. There is a special office that's been created in here. You may be familiar with this building, all right, the Luohu Koan. I'm sure you've gone through it many, many times. I know I have. Or maybe you haven't. If you're watching my channel from overseas, you might not. So what you will do is you will go across the border here. You will go one stop. All right, and you're going to do this with someone from the school. So I'm just giving you an update. You're going to be sort of handheld through this process, and it's so fast and so convenient that it is really surprising. You will go across the border with them. You will go one stop down to the stop called Shangshui. You don't need to remember that. You will turn around, and you will come back on the other side of this place. And on the third, but you will not enter back into China yet. And so you go about 10 minutes on the subway, on the train down. You turn around, you come back, and you're going to come back to here on the third floor on the China side. But before you've crossed the border, there is an office. There's a little office on the third floor, and you're going to take a card there. And you press a button and you wait for about 20 minutes. And you will literally meet somebody there. It's an automated official procedure. It's essentially a new visa office where you're going to get your visa. For those of you who have been in China, you may notice that things are becoming very automated, and you can see the effect of high technology on these processes as you cross the border. Well, this has been taken a step further to apply to the process of obtaining your work visa. And now, the grand total amount of time you're going to spend up on the third floor here is going to be about an hour. This particular manager that I spoke with this morning, who is right now with this actively obtaining visas for foreigners, okay? And so this is going to be expanded in the future without a doubt. There's no more, well, at any rate, according to him, it only took, he timed it, okay? He timed it. He called back the girl, one of the assistants back in their head office in Shenzhen, and he said, okay, I'm going to time it now. And it took a total of 1 hour and 20 minutes for the person this American guy who previously was on a 10-year visa, to get his official work visa. 1 hour and 20 minutes to get that thing and be ready and quote unquote, well, you know what I mean. Let's see here. Essentially, okay, so what that means is it's different than before. There's no more, we used to always go to Chungking Mansions, right? We used to go to Chungking Mansions and we'd stay here for like 4 or 5 days. I did it. We'd go in this cheap hotel and we'd stay there. It's famous, really, this Chungking Mansions. There are approximately 90 different small little motels in there that are cheap. You can get a place for anywhere from 15 to 30 bucks a night. By the way, if you want to read a really good book about the history of Chungking Mansions as well as its present situation, try this book by Gordon Matthews. Gordon Matthews is a professor at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and he lived there for 2 or 3 years. It was at least 2 years, and sort of did an anthropological and study of the place. Very interesting. I've been going there since my first time I stayed there was in college, at university in 1991 when I was studying in China. And then I stayed there again 1994, 1996, 1997. So in the 1990s, for me, it was all about Chungking Mansions, but it still is. However, now, you don't need to do that. I remember going across the border and staying there and getting my visa processed and then doing it with other people, the exact same thing. And we go to the We'd have to go down there to the Chinese consulate. Technically, it is not a consulate because Hong Kong's part of China. Okay, right. But it would take a long time, and you'd wait there, and it was just. I don't mind it because I like Chungking Mansions, but now it's much easier. Essentially, your visa processing is going to be done at this office on the third floor here. Now, maybe they will expand it or move it, who knows? But for right now, that's where it is. If you're in the south of China, you don't need to go back. So, at any rate, you guys, that is a big change. This is a very big change. And so the answer is yes, many people are not having to go back to their home country to process their visa. Of course, you can do that. You can do that, but it is not required in all cases. Now, you may come across a school and they don't know that, or they're not able to do it, or they haven't yet done it. Okay, and so they may tell you, no, it's impossible. Well, there are people right now getting visas doing it on, in January and February 2018. So that's just a fact. I think what you need to do is, for new people, this is one reason for people who are new to China, it is kind of worth it to start out your time in China with one of these big schools like a Wall Street, Web International English, Metten, EF, some of these big chain schools that have hundreds of schools all over China, because they have entire departments devoted to this process. Okay. And okay. So that is it for this. I'll try to post any more updates as they come along. But remember, I don't stay completely on top of these issues because they don't always affect me. All right. Well, they do affect me, but this is mainly for people who are new to China. Or perhaps or you're not new to China, but you're on a different visa category. But for those people, this is not quite as useful because you might already have the information. This is mainly for people who are new to China and are considering coming here, and you want to get sort of, you want to put your mind at ease as to, well, what is the process? What can I really do, etc.